and let's dive into tonight's strategy. Neighborhood marketing strategies revealed, because we want you to become the hyper-local marketing force in your area. So tonight's strategy, first-time home buyers. We focused a lot on how to get listings and how to start building your brand if you don't have any listings. So I thought, tonight would be a good opportunity if we dive into first-time home buyers. How to find the right people inside your farm that will help you grow your reach and brand while making you money. So that's really the important part, because spending money on marketing and doing all things and spending that money, that bank account, we want to make sure that you have a way to get money in, right? I mean, that's the entire purpose. We can't just be spending. We need to make sure we are taking money in. So as always, I am going to go over all the free resources that are inside our Facebook group, and we get to them to the end. So stay through the end and you'll get to know how to get access to all of them, which are, highly valued for the neighborhood farming strategies, especially how to pick your profitable farm. There is, social media content. There is just a lot of freebies for you guys to get. So stay through the end. I promise it'll be worth it. So let's start with, where are people living before they are buying their first home? Where are people living? And you saw me post this earlier, and I was looking to see if I can find the post. Sadly, I couldn't just pull it up real quick. But I asked this question earlier inside the group, and what do you think? Let me know your answers in the comments. What you think, where are people living before they're buying their first home? Now, if we think about it, you have people that live at home. You have people that are living in college dorms, people living in apartments, condos, renters, right? Those are all the people that might be ready to be first-time home buyers in most cases, right? So tonight we are going to talk about all of this, and I'm going to reveal to you a way to break into your neighborhood area with highly qualified buyers, okay? Highly qualified. That's the important part here. So let me talk to you about the fact that you don't have to look far. Sometimes your buyers are already living in your ideal target neighborhood. So just go out and find them, right? Easy enough. So how do you do that? And finding those buyers is really not that complicated. So I broke it all down for you, and we're going to dive into it step by step so you know what to do, because my goal is always to make sure you have an outline of what to do and another lead source that you can evaluate to see if it makes sense for your area and for your business, okay? So if we're talking about people that are already living in your neighborhood, we're going to be talking especially about renters. And all of us have this, inclination with renters, and it's like, oh, I don't want to work with them. Oh, it's awful. And yes, a lot of them are just not loyal. They just jump from a lot of people, from, one agent to the other to make it happen, to find them their perfect rental. However, there is a way to create some sort of a relationship that is really helping you maintain the tenant. But that's not what we're talking about tonight. Tonight, we're really talking about targeting those neighborhood rentals. So first off, your MLS will be able to provide you with the data for past rentals in a matter of minutes. You want to know, where are all the rentals from the last 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, 48 months. You go pull that information up in your area, in your MLS, like this. That's how fast it is. Super, super quick. Best part about it, you choose your desired price point. So what if you say, you know what, I don't want to work with people that are paying $1,500 in rent. I don't think it's worth my time, right? You're not discriminating. You're just saying this is not what I'm targeting for that specific lead generation strategy. So in this scenario, for example, I said, well, I want at least $2,000 a month for their rent that I know they are paying every month. $2,000. This is just based on your median price point. And then, what does your mortgage come out to? If I have somebody that can afford $2,000, I can probably sell them a pretty decent sized home in my area, somewhere between $250 to $280, which will be my median price point. So, I'm not selling the $1 million houses, $3 million houses. That's not my median price point. So I want to make sure I'm aware of, where most people are, because if you niche down too much, you're just not having enough people to reach. So we want to make sure you kind of look into the median price point as well a little bit. So choose your price point. What is worth it? And like I said it depends on where you live. Let's say you're in an area where $1,500 is, a high rental budget. Go after them. If you're in an area where $1,200 is a high rental budget, where $4,000 is a pretty median, rental budget, determine what the most or the biggest buyer pool or renter pool is looking for. What goes like this the minute it gets listed as a rental? That's kind of like a good indicator. And then another thing why you want to target your neighborhood rentals is because you're going to build traction in your geographic farm. How do you do that? By just being recognized in the community. And a lot of the things that I do teach is to have a multi-level strategy for your neighborhood. You become recognized as the person that knows things around this area. People will see your expertise and they will expand your expertise into different areas. Now, the other part that's really, really great with this is the fact that people love to just settle down in areas they're super familiar with. So if you've rented in, a neighborhood for the last 3 years, do you think that you would be comfortable spending $200,000 in that neighborhood because you know the neighbors, you know how the neighborhood is kept, where everything is at, you have your doctor set up. There's a lot of great stuff that comes along knowing your neighborhood. So why target renters? Why target renters in your neighborhood? They won't be renters forever. In most cases, I should say. Most people will not rent forever just because it doesn't make much sense. They are paying someone else's mortgage already. Fact, right? They will never have housing certainty unless they own. Really sucks to be told by the landlord, hey, I'm selling my house, or hey, I'm not extending your lease, go move. So they will never have housing certainty. Some of them are just thinking they might be unable to buy. It's an education component that's missing, and that's partially our job to just make it happen. Renters are also oftentimes abandoned leads by their former realtors. If I say renter, what's your first reaction? Oh no, right? I mean, that's just, some of us are just not really loving to work with them. And, like I said, I get it. They're not very loyal in many cases. But the big thing is think outside the box and make it work for your area. Why are people maybe not buying? What is the reason? Now, if you are in a high, military area and you see that turnover because they're only there for the time their papers are for, their orders are for, that strategy might not make as much sense to you. Because they will rent for 2-3 years and then they'll move on to a different area. No, it doesn't make sense to buy. Know your market, know your area. This is really, really important when it comes to things like this. Was this okay? Did you guys, get something good out of this? Let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs up, check mark, fire. Let me know it makes sense to you. And if it didn't, not a problem. I'll take that feedback too. I want to make sure we always improve and do better in what we're covering for you guys on our free training. So let's talk about where should you target renters, right? Like, where are they? Where can we find them? And the best way to find the rentals is your target area is the MLS. I already went over this. The MLS has the data, and pulling that data is as easy as 1, 2, 3, right? All you got to do is find out what's rented and then go back the last 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, whatever you want to do. That's really up to you. If you have, if you only have a smaller area and you say, oh, there's only 5 in the last 12 months, well, expand it. What about the last 24 months? What about the last 36 months? And see if those numbers make sense for you to just really get a good sized list together. The MLS can provide you with data from years past about rentals in your area. And the best part is, if you've been around in this group for a while, I love free. I will invest where I need to invest to further. But if there's something that is free, love it. So MLS is free. You can get all that data for free. All it is a couple buttons to get it all in. Now, another couple things are Facebook neighborhood sites. Now, those are things that you can look for people that are renting, based on posts you're putting up. So if you have a neighborhood site, you could say, looking for some feedback. How is your current landlord? Just something that engages and that brings that conversation. And then just have a conversation. Have a conversation. Ask questions. If you have an answer to a question, follow it with a question. Just make sure this engagement keeps going and your name keeps on being put out there. It's really, really important. Build an email list. If you have some sort of opt-in of, I did a video about a couple years back, and it was living next to your landlord, curse or blessing. Well, that video ranked pretty decent from everything because, yes, this was something that was of a value to somebody who's currently renting. Was that something that they are curious about? Well, if I live next to my landlord, is that a good thing? Because, they can just pop over and fix everything? Or is it a bad thing because they constantly keep on checking in? You can build an email list based on, on checklists and what to know before you rent in your area. There's a lot of ways to build that list with, opt-in pages, lead magnets. And then, of course, print marketing. You can put postcards together. If you just pull the entire, file for addresses, they are more targeted. So it's not like a farming strategy that I teach you on like a blanket one. It's a much more specific one to this house has a renter, this house does not. This house has a renter, this one has not. So you really target the ones that are rental properties. If you live in an area with apartment complexes, huge, you can mail to that entire building. They will not allow you to walk this entire building because you are technically trespassing, but they will allow you to mail this entire building. So that might be also something if you're in an area that has that. Print marketing is also very, very effective as long as it is done right. So did this make sense so far? Let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a check mark, fire. And if it was a little, unclear, let me know as well. I would love to dive back in and adjust it and make sure we get the most value out of it for you. So then the next question we're covering is, so what do you send to renters? Like, what do you send to them? Just list it? Buy a house now? Like, what is it you send, right? If you have a guess, drop it down below. I'd love to hear what you think you should send next. But I'm going to cover it. Think about it. What is the number one objections that renters have against buying a house? What is their number one objection? Why are they saying, I can't, I won't, I don't want to? Like, why? Think about that. That's a really important step in this entire process. And I did put a couple things together right here. And the way it's put together is not the way we're going to talk about it. But you have really the biggest one is affordability. That's a big one, right? Why can't you? Let's talk about the interest rate. It's related to cost of renting versus cost of owning. Loan programs and down payment assistance. Well, I can't afford it. I don't have any money saved up. No problem. Here's a program. Benefits of establishing equity. Tax benefits. And nobody talks about tax benefits in a term of like, hey, you're gonna, have a tax benefit, because guess what? Taxes are not a sexy thing to talk about. So we're not saying, hey, buy a house and get tax benefits or get a tax break. Like, no, that's not something that they want. I mean, yes, it is, but that's not the way it should be packaged. So, and security of ownership. You are in control. So the way those bullet points are, again, I just said those are not the way they should be displayed. The way they should be displayed is through a means of story, okay? A means of connecting with people. If you're looking into finding your perfect first-time home buyer in your target area, you want to focus on their objections and how you can get them into your network, get them on your email list, get them involved in a conversation with you. But that is not based on buy a house because you get a tax break. Like, no, nobody wants to talk about it. This is more related to, aren't you tired of worrying about the fact that your landlord might sell your home? And then what? You have to go find another rental? Do you know that moving has gotten more and more expensive? I totally get it. Let me tell you what Lisa did. Lisa came to me and said, I have 60 days to find something. I'm really tired of renting. Can you help me? And Lisa and I started working together. And before we know it, we found the perfect property. Lisa, decided to purchase it, and now her payment is $1,700, and she's not paying the $2,000 in rent anymore. So talk about story. Talk about the emotions that go along with it and the benefits, and just package it up in a way that is really appealing to that tenant. Now, that might be, like I said, online. It might be in a printed mailer. Wherever you target them, make it a benefit of why they should consider it. So there is, a really important part in there. So, like I said, focus on addressing the renter's objections in your marketing pieces. Focus on addressing the renter's objections in the marketing pieces, and it should probably say there in a form of storytelling. You want to get them into, that story mode, not just the, hey, let me educate you today because this is what we're going to talk about. This is very not something they want to hear. Okay, just educate from a point of storytelling, coming from a point of contribution at all times. That's really the best way that you can address this. Did this make sense? Was that helpful? Let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs up. I'll take a check mark, fire. If you're not quite clear on it, you can also drop me, like a sad face, and I will dive back into it. Real quick, if you're just jumping on and you are new to the group, my name is Janine Sasso, and I'm an active realtor and team leader. I run a 6-figure real estate business. I'm a hyperlocal marketing machine, the founder of the Hyperlocal Real Estate Agent. Welcome to the group. And I built my business with zero sphere. I'm a busy mom of 2 little kids, and I know that time constraints are no joke. So a lot of my business is really built on the fact that it needs to work while I sleep. And I want the same for you. So what's next? Take all the information I just gave you. I gave you a lot of information to implement it and get similar results. There's nothing that I'm, not telling you to do that I started thinking about when I started. And it's really just doing the next step. Now, if you want the accountability, and I know some of you guys do, as always, there's my special invitation link if you need a 1-hour consultation call. I've had some of the group members take me up on it, and we've really gotten to a lot of breakthroughs. And it depends on what you want to talk about. So if you need some more accountability and you need a power hour, this is definitely your chance to get some stuff done. And you're already in the group, the Hyperlocal Real Estate Agent on Facebook, where every Monday we are covering the live training at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And as promised, here are some of our free resources that you are able to grab as a valued group member. They are in the highlighted pink boxes. The ones on the top that are in purple are our paid programs. So, but the free ones, you're looking at our social media post calendar, so you can get that with #calendar. You get you can claim the 25 mailing examples for free. That just tells you 25 things that you could mail to your farm. So just do #25 mailings. One of the best ones, and if you haven't claimed it, here's my absolute please do for you, my Geographic farming cheat sheet that is super important if you're ready to pick a profitable farm. Not just a farm, because not every farm is a good source of business, but a profitable farm. Okay, absolutely free. So if you need it still, I'll drop you the link. Just do a #Geographic farming. It is 100% free, guys. So start there if you haven't done anything. Okay, I promise it'll be the best thing you will do in 2020, which is a really weird year to start with, but consider that one. And then if you are starting to dabble into video, or if you need some more help with that, there's also 175 content ideas for videos. So you can just do 175, #175 content. So I hope it was helpful as always. And thank you guys so much for watching